Sure.
It works.
Yeah, absolutely. It is 6:30, Thursday, January 19th, 2022. This is the Park Board meeting. We are meeting on a Thursday due to the fact of Martin Luther King Day, and the Board of Aldermen had the meeting that we usually have on a Tuesday. That's why we're meeting on a Thursday. I'll call the meeting to order. I've taken roll call. There are 4 members absent: Connie, Allie, Dan, and Julie.
And Julie is walking in.
Julie's here.
Here's Julie.
Julie's here. Julie's locked, and Julie is here.
Welcome.
Hello.
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 Hi, Julie.
Hello, Mary.
Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the November 2022 meeting, since we did not meet in December?
Yes,
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I mean, we approved the minutes from November.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Hi.
We have no public requests and petitions this evening. We'll get right into old business. Just to give you a quick update of Hall Park. I called down to Jeff City, and they have not heard anything to report back to us, whether we received the grant or if we're in the running. They're still going over all the applications, and they said that it should be around the first week of February. So hopefully we hear early, and hopefully we are one of them selected, so we can proceed to do Hall Park later this year. So that's all I have on that. Do you have anything to add on Hall Park, Rhino?
I remain optimistic. I think it's a really good project, and we've scored favorably with our other grant, and they really like us, so.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
I'll move on to our pickleball court update. They are moving rapidly. It was really nice before the weather hit 3 weeks or a month ago, that they could get the actual asphalt base down. That way they wouldn't have to regrade, and they can get their big trucks in. And they've installed the Musco lights. The other day they drilled the bases and got the bases set for the parking lot lights. They're in the process of running all the conduit for the lights and starting that project. We're waiting on the bathroom to come in. They've been doing the electrical up there, and then the plumbing and everything of that nature. So after they do that, I know Ryan and I got some bids on a storage unit out there, and we're gonna actually put that in a little different location. We think it'll be better than what we originally thought. Ryan, if you wanna
Yeah, so
debate on that.
it'd be the northern part of the pickleball courts. There's 20-foot, you can call it promenade sidewalk area. It's 20 feet of concrete. On the west side of that, it's the side that faces the woods there and the creek. We're gonna put the storage shed in there, as opposed to all the way down the aisle. That way, you know, for instance, if we need to get a roll dry or a blower or something out on, say, court number 5, which would be on the east side, you gotta walk all the way down the aisle, get it, walk all the way back. I mean, it just doesn't make logistical sense. So, and we have that big open area, and I would be willing to wager that you know, the footprint that a shed is gonna take isn't gonna be missed that much in that area. So.
Ryan's in the process right now of also soliciting bids on bleachers and the shade structures, portable tents, different things of that nature. So he's been on the horn and on his computer a bunch, trying to find the best deal we can for our bleachers. And They'll probably be 2 or 3 row, and this way we can put them back to back. That way we still,
Likely 2 row.
yeah, likely 2 row. This way, we're still with the handicap accessible, and
You know, we've got a 16-foot lane to work with, so, you know, we have to basically take.
we need 5 on each
5
side.
on each side, so, we might be able to get away with three-row bleachers, depending on how smushed their foot area is, but it's likely gonna be 2-row bleachers, which are still fine. They'll be aluminum. It'll be interesting to see how we secure them in place, because we have those tension cables. We might actually have to X-ray each part we're going to drill
Into the concrete, because we can't hit a cable, that will affect that, it won't be
That's
post-tension
out of the
concrete
question, hitting one of those
anymore. Yeah.
cables.
And if we have to epoxy them down or something, but
Yeah.
we've been in contact with,
Yeah, the manufacturer's got some ideas.
yeah, so, anyway.
So you do that for stability or just to prevent theft?
Really
And
for
theft.
stability, I mean, yes, theft, of course, anything that can walk will walk, but mainly stability. I mean, a big wind comes up and, you know,
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
take out a fence too on its
Wow.
way, you know, so. No
And-
good.
Right, and when we said theft, I think I mentioned this to you at the last meeting, when they first started on the construction project and had the fence up and everything, and they were storing the skate park equipment on the very, very south side, someone stole one of the grind rails. So we do know that things walk off, but the contractor is purchasing us a new grind rail, and he says it's not your fault, and so we'll be getting a new grind rail, so all the equipment will be back in place. But
That's good.
hopefully with the forethought after doing Lions Park and installing the cameras, and we just made it when we were doing the pre-construction meeting, telling we need the cameras. I mean, it's just a known fact. We've started doing the cameras.
I don't think we'll do another big project with it.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, we put cameras out in our maintenance shed out at Jesse James Park, so.
Good.
Ryan, go ahead and tell them about our basketball.
Yeah, youth
program.
basketball. So we started our first games this last weekend on the 14th. 160 kids. That's record for us. I think I mentioned it last time, but we're up exactly 33% over last year. Yeah, everything's gone good with the games. Practices have been going for a while. They've been going fine. We're having our games at Hawthorne Elementary, and they have a scoreboard there that it's been there as long as I've been in town, but it's broken. It doesn't work anymore, and the school's really not interested in repairing it. They don't really use that gym for those purposes.
Right.
So we made the call and went ahead and ordered a portable scoreboard. It'll be on like kind of risers that we can wheel in and out, and we'll store it there for the duration of the season, and then store it somewhere else when we're not using it. But,
Correct.
yeah, we actually accomplished that today, so it'll be great. So basketball's going good.
Great.
And we are using 3 gyms for practice, but just Hawthorne for the games.
Yeah, if we keep growing, we're going to have to either use another gym or get an additional night. So normally we practice 3 nights a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But we might just have to ask them for another night,
Right.
if we keep growing, which is awesome. I mean, it's a great problem to have.
Do you have any idea why it's grown so much? Is it just new people to the community, or?
I think, well, across the board, we're up. In every single thing we've offered this year, we've set a record. I think that, in 21, people were still a little hesitant to come out and play. Our numbers hadn't recovered from pre-COVID. I think this year everyone's like, hey, let's take advantage of it. And I think, there's a renewed especially with younger parents, there's a renewed health kick. Encouraging their kids to be active and that sort of thing. It's, really being pushed to young parents right now, plus really good management. So. I had to throw that part in.
Very good.
Any other questions on our youth basketball? Just a quick update, not a whole lot on the aquatics. We're still meeting with our Water's Edge consultants. In fact, later this month, we have another meeting.
So yeah, last time we
Yeah.
met, we were planning on doing this rapid fire. Hey, we're gonna have an open house. Hey, we're gonna do all this.
In a December meeting, because we usually don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So that, shortly, well, that week, actually, I think I ended up sending everyone an email saying, hey, we're not doing that.
Sheila and I know Sheila's still back here working, but Sheila, I, and Ryan have been meeting with the consultants, and we just felt it would be too rushed of a project on too short a time to get the product that we actually want, and do the open houses and allow enough advertisement where we can really
I
get the
think
word
the
out.
education component of it would be the thing that would hurt the most in this scenario, and that's everything if you have a valid issue. So.
Right, but we're working, continuing to work, and, we're not just gonna let them slow down, because we want everything laid out how we want it before we actually go out and talk to the voters, let them know, educate them, and,
You're looking at possibly putting on the next April?
yes.
Right.
April
Yeah,
24th.
April
2024.
Yes. Which,
I
you
think
know,
It'll take that much time. I think it will take that much time
completely
to,
feasible goal. I don't see any reason why we
Right.
can't, unless there's a huge economic crisis between now and then.
so, and we'll let the voters, educate them as much as we can, and let the voters decide what they want to do. I mean, that's all we can do, so.
Okay.
Under new business, the last week of December, we had to turn in our Tree City information. There's a bunch of hoops and things that we have to do to qualify each and every year, spend a certain amount of money per capita. And it doesn't seem like a whole lot. They say it's $2 and some odd cents, but we were over $3. But anything that we do with trees and things of that nature that we do, we can document that, send it, any volunteer, water, and
Watering, planning.
and the thing of it is you've got to have all that documented throughout the year. So every time, when we talk to you about doing maintenance in the parks and we're trimming trees and things of that nature, and Ray's gonna be starting to trim trees again along the trail. And that's a good thing, because it's January, February, we can already start keeping track of that for the end of the year for this year. So we should get another year of Tree City certification. So anyway, that's that.
Spring sports,
Yep.
everything's, we're live. We went live right at the beginning of the year with our spring sports. Signups are going great. So we'll be partnering with Smithville again this year for our youth ball, our softball, baseball, t-ball, or actually just softball and baseball. We do t-ball just in town. But yeah, it'd be great.
We did raise our fees a little bit.
Well, that was later down.
Yeah.
You put that as, well, I guess I can just, yeah, okay. So we raised our fees. Yeah, expenses are up. The cost of referees are up. The cost of equipment's up. And all of our neighbors have raised their fees as well, so.
But we're still keeping it where we feel
It's competitive with the local market.
What is the cost?
Oh, which sport?
Right, it's different.
It's like, t-ball's different, they're all different, but generally $15 to $20 raise.
Okay. And when does that start?
It starts with the spring sports.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm asking. When does the spring sports start? When's the
In
kickoff?
April.
It's April.
Yeah, April-ish.
April-ish.
Yeah, it rains a lot then.
Do you see that that's gonna be as much of an increase as the youth basketball as far as the early participation? or-
Well, we had a lot of growth last year, so in 22, I'm optimistic that we'll have some growth. I don't think it'll be as drastic as it was in 22 for baseball, and especially soccer. Soccer really grew last year for us. We were bursting at the seams with kids in soccer. So I think we had 30 some odd teams. Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah, it was ridiculous.
And one thing that Ryan and I talked about and was some people can still, it's hard times for people, for some people.
Right.
And we did a scholarship, whether you can go online or come into City Hall and say, hey, I want to help, which we've already had done.
We've had someone come in already.
Come in and heard about it and give money to the city so kids that can't afford to play, have an opportunity to play.
This is, we've been doing something similar for a long time. This is a much more accountant-friendly way of doing it. We're just updating our methods. But yeah, it's nice to be able to advertise that, hey, we have a scholarship fund. And also, one cool thing that we figured out we could do on the website is every time someone signs up for anything, they're gonna get the option, hey, would you also like to kick in, say, $5 for the youth scholarship fund? And that's already paying off. I mean, that's working well.
And some people that I was saying are competitive teams that just don't participate in our rec programs where they'll schedule field rentals, they've done that.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, it's working out pretty good so far.
Do we have a little link that we can, like, on my Facebook page that I can put and say, hey?
So yeah.
Is there something like that we have?
We actually put that out last Friday through the Parks and Rec Facebook page.
Okay, I'll find it. Okay.
We'll periodically do a, hey,
Okay.
we still exist thing, but it does exist on carneyparks.com.
Great.
Under the donations tab.
Do you find that what comes in usually covers the need, or is the need greater than what comes in?
We're seeing an increased need this year.
Yeah.
What really kicked this thing off is I had a mother get a hold of me that had 5 kids that all wanted to play sports and she just couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets pricey.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, we should do this, and Sheila encouraged us to do it properly. So, being an accountant and all. So we're doing it properly, and we'll be approaching some of our corporate partners from amphitheater stuff as well, and asking them to donate.
We're gonna be sending out a letter to some nonprofits. I know we're gonna be sending it to the Rotary Club, the Optimus Club, the Lions Club, and if they can donate, great. If they can't, no worries. We'll just, hopefully they will, and whatever they can do it'll help a child. So anyway, and that's the whole goal, is to let those kids play.
Yep.
If a need arises, can someone call in and meet that need, or do you want the money up front and it's in the fund and it's there when you need it?
That's how
That's how we're doing it right now?
Yeah. That way, all the accounting is taken care of.
Blame
For
the
budget.
accountants.
Budgetary reasons and things of that way, money in is for these everything is a lot more detailed, and which will help us, especially next year doing our budget, because it was all different for us this year. But next year, it will help us a lot when we start preparing our expenses to revenues and things of that nature, especially football is in this, and that,
Yeah, it was a big change for us, but we're seeing the fruits of
why we're doing it.
why we're doing it already. So You know, we'll curse Sheila under our breath and be like, actually, this makes sense, never mind, you know?
Yeah.
So, you can't be too mad about it.
Is there a way though, I think Nick was alluding to this, to be sure that, I mean, we're not telling the kid no, are we?
We're not telling you
No.
no.
Okay.
We'll make it work.
That's good.
I think there are many of us in the community that would,
Yeah, if we knew that
Make it
that
work.
was what was happening,
Right.
you'd,
If it comes
you'd have
down
people come up with the money.
to calling my personal friends, hey, loan me $10 to get this kid playing,
Yeah.
I'll do that, I don't care, I'm shameless when it comes to helping kids, so.
So I certainly have 2 donors for that, but literally, if you ever
Okay.
came into any type of need, just please call me, we'll get it done.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that very much, very much. We have sent out a little letter to our pickleball friends, Greg Gillahan and Ally, and we're gonna be having a meeting and talking a little bit more, and then we're gonna be coming back to you hopefully next month. This way we can,
Yeah, we're trying to
doing fact-finding mission, basically,
yeah,
on some things with the pickleball courts and.
what other venues are doing, what they're charging for rentals, specifically tournament play, what they're charging for court reservations, all that jazz, and,
Do they allow nonprofits or anybody to host a tournament unless it's them? And we, this way, we're not just getting bombarded on every weekend where we can't have local play, that the taxpayers and
So,
help fund that.
that'll be the nice part about having so many courts, is we'll be able to establish open courts at all times, which is obviously not something we can do with 3 courts. So, it's gonna be good, and, we're gonna lean pretty heavily on our pickleball community that, you know, have gone to all these places, you know, on a regular basis and see how things are done, because ultimately they're our target market anyways, so.
are there other areas about our size?
Not with what we have, or we're going to
I
have.
mean, we have a much larger.
Yes.
Factual statement.
Yes, there's nobody with 12 courts. The closest is probably Riverside has 8.
Okay.
Lenexa, Boys de Arc has 8. Johnson County has Meadowbrook, which has 8. They've got another complex with 8. There's a lot of that size of
Okay.
areas. And then there's some for-profit businesses. Chicken and Pickles got
Oh,
8 in the Northland and
Okay.
10 in the Overland Park area. Elite Tennis has 4. So there's several different
we are
things.
the big dog then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
It's
are.
gonna blow up. Yeah.
Excelsior Springs did put in 3. They're
Yeah.
outdoor without lights,
Good job, guys.
but they did finally get,
Did they get nets?
they did get nets set,
I'm happy for them.
so I'm too. I don't think anything will impact what we're doing. I think we'll find, I think this is important because we'll have a lot of pressure on these courts this year. And what I think, each place, I played all over the city, as have most of the people who, Ally and, you know, a lot of the people that we've talked about. Each area can have its own culture and its own attitude, as it were. You can go on Facebook page and read what people think of the culture at Riverside. It's not overly friendly. It tends to be a little uninviting and a little bit exclusive, you know. Boys de Arc is one where it's extremely friendly and extremely inviting, and it's something I think might be something we can look to as a place that's done it well and as a model. And I will say too, I think Kearney's viewed as a friendly, fun place to come play with a lot of very friendly and fun players.
And that's,
So,
you know,
I
that's
think
been
we're,
organically just by the people we have playing
Mhm.
here. So,
so, I know that's to come,
we have an all right guy running our league too,
so.
he's okay.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, go ahead.
On our maintenance items in the parks, as I mentioned, we're getting ready again to start trimming a bunch more trees. We did some in the really cold winter when we had that cold snap. doesn't phase those guys because they're sweating when they're cutting down the trees and trimming the trees and things of that nature. But we're gonna be on the trails doing that, not only at Jesse James and Mac Porter area, because a lot of pin oaks in Mac Porter need to be trimmed up as well around the baseball field and the parking lots and things of that. But we'll be heading down on the South Campus Trail and doing that as well, and making sure that there's any leaning trees, which there's a lot down there, that we know that they're safe, that way they're not, and invariably, there'll be one or two that'll crash during a storm and be over the trail, and then we gotta go, you
Happens
know,
every year.
it just happens, you know.
Nothing
So
to do
we'll
about
be trying to get ahead of the game there. Our street department and Ray have been out prior to this rain, doing all of the cracking at Mac Porter Park, crack sealing, I should say, at Mac Porter Park on the trails, and they've worked their way up into Jesse James Park, and doing that as well. They're almost done with that, and they've got about, 300 yards maybe, not very far, to finish up there. One thing I will tell you that, kind of getting back to the budget that we mentioned, Ryan and I have been brainstorming and trying to stay ahead of the game. That way, come budget time, we're ahead of it a little bit. Future projects, and that's an ongoing project with our trails. They're getting to their span where we think we're gonna have to take a certain section every year and start doing an overlay. And I feel right now, I don't know exactly how Ryan feels, but the South Campus Trail, I would start on that aspect, and start there, and we just need to see, you know, and Donnie will be a great help with the overlay, the price of asphalt, and things of that nature, and just continue to do that and work our way through all the trails and go about it that way, because we don't want to get it to the point where we've lost the trail and then we've got to dig them up and start all over, and then we're talking really big bucks. I mean, it's going to be expensive when you start doing overlays on trails. It's going to be really expensive, but we'll do what we can and try and stay ahead of the game as much as we can. So that's all I have for you tonight, unless Ryan, you have anything else?
You all look wonderful tonight. I'm happy to see everyone healthy and happy after the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
That includes you, Larry.
I forgot he was there behind the podium there.
You guys have any board comments you'd like to add or anything?
Have you heard from Charlie Brown at all? That's still going on? That'll happen
Yeah.
before our next meeting, I guess, I
Yes,
assume, so.
still on a schedule. I'm actually waiting on him to get me their insurance.
Mhm.
Emailed him yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with him
Yeah.
tomorrow, but
Klondike Derby will be happening in February from the Boy, just as a Boy Scouts that they've done in the past. So we'll get all their insurance, and they're going to be out in Jesse James Park like they did last year. That's all I have. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
comments?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Greg, can I have you sign this? Or, no, Julie's here. She wasn't here when we were talking. Julie, I need your